This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, everybody, welcome back to the Lechdei Chmosar podcast. We continue with the Pele Yoeitz. We are on page 352 in the Art Scroll, day 134 in Hachzik. We began the topic of Gezel, robbery, and now we're going to continue with that. Now the Pele Yoeitz is going to describe a few forms of robbery that people often are over on, they transgress under the misconception that it's good business practice, as we'll see. There are many forms of robbery that are transgressed by the masses, even though people don't identify, they don't think they're robbers, but we're going to point out these spaces, these places where it's possible that even if it's not in the literal sense, but it's a hint to what we may have, and it's important to be aware of these. One who listens should hear, and the first one is an evil and distasteful practice that's prevalent in the world is where a man he loses all of his money. What happens? A person Nebuch, he had money, he was an upstanding person of society, and he lost everything. What does he do? So the Pele Yoeitz is going to talk about this for a little bit, where you have a person who lost all of his nechasim, all of his possessions, and he goes to Vienna, other countries, Leipzig, and he goes and he tells everyone that he lost all of his money. He makes himself into a case. It's true, but nevertheless he takes very much advantage of the community. He pretends. So he takes all the money, he collects for himself, and then he pretends that he was lost, and that the money was robbed, and the merchandise was destroyed, and really he's keeping everything for himself. And because of bribes, he extends to the rule of the land, he's able to continue doing what he's doing. So he's running a huge Ponzi scheme. He's really accruing wealth, but he keeps on going around, and he's bribing everyone to keep their mouths shut, and he's living the life, and he's accruing tremendous wealth, and he's taking everyone's money and their merchandise, and he's saying he's going to pay them back. Everyone gives up. Now says the Pele Yoeitz, you might think, okay, like this is one type of gzela, but it's not worse than a guy who just goes on the street and he steals. Not to say it's one of the Saras Adibas like Sigzal, but says the Pele Yoeitz, this case, this person over here who was a regular part of the community and he felt like this, he's actually much worse. Why? And he gives 4 reasons. Because first of all, a person can protect himself from a regular bandit, but this person, no one knows what's happening, and he's a real swindler. So the first one is that he has a chiyuv also of hakaras hatov. He has to be thankful to all the people. So it says the Pele Yoeitz, first he's wrong in the sense that people can't safeguard, they can't protect themselves from this person, from this Rasha, this Gazlan. And second of all, he has a chiyuv of hakaras hatov for everything that people are giving to him, and he is neglecting that as well. So that's the first reason why he's worst. The second reason, this person is not just stealing money, he's stealing the minds of people, deceit, which is a form of theft in and of itself, besides the regular gzela. And the third reason, and third of all, he causes lenders to fear that everyone is a swindler. And he's going to be the cause of closing out one of the mitzvahs in the Torah of Talbas Ami. Hashem says, I want you to lend to my people. I want my people to help each other out. I want my people to live as a unit of Achdus. And this person is really, really poking a big hole in this whole Achdus bubble, because he's deceiving everyone, and people are going to have a terrible perception of lending money. That's the third reason. Another point is that a regular ganef, if the authorities come after him, he has to pay the money. And he gets lashes and he has to pay. But now this person, because he bribed people and everyone's distorted and no one remembers anymore, so he can't even return the principal. While his creditor looks on helplessly and becomes enraged, and he will crush his teeth and melt away, and he has no one to save him. So the Pele Yoeitz is highlighting the terrible feeling, the feeling of loss and yish, despondency that the creditors are going to feel in light of all that this Ganav is doing to them. But says the Pele Yoeitz, a piece of reassurance and comfort that doesn't only apply to the creditors and to those that did mitzvahs and did the right thing by giving the loan, but it's really to everyone. And it's super relevant to Chanukah. And he quotes the pasuk from Mishlei, Rak Hashem Yariv Rivam V'keva Eskavem Nefesh. Only be warned, Hashem will take up their grievance. He will steal the soul of those who steal from them. Pasuk in Mishlei, Parak Chav Beis, Pasuk Chav Gimel. What means is, this is the Yisrael of Chanukah. A lot of times, we have interactions, we have relationships, we deal with people, we feel cheated, we feel at loss, we feel they wronged us. A million different things that can happen with relationships, with people. Trust in mankind. Just like a person who is giving money, lending money to another person, and meanwhile gets stolen. So the person could become, the creditors, all of us, anyone can become jaded. I'm doing the right thing, I'm trying my best, and look what's happening. I'm getting the wrong end of the deal. This person is cheating me, and now he's living the life. He bought himself a private jet, and he's goes on cruises, and he's on vacations, and I know the truth that he stole the money from me. And this can manifest in so many different ways in our personal lives, not necessarily with being stole from, but in any type of relationship where we feel we're doing the right thing, and in turn, we're getting the raw end of the deal. We're getting the rotten apples thrown at us. And we ask, what's going on? I'm doing the right thing. There's Hashem, and Tzadik V'Ra'alei Rasha V'Tov Lo, is the good happening to the wicked and the bad happening to the tzaddikim? What happens? Says the Pele Yoeitz, quoting the pasuk in Mishlei, never ever forget. Hashem will take up their grievance. He will steal the soul of those who steal from them. And if we're doing the right thing, if we're doing Ratzon Hashem, if we're being Shem and Torah mitzvahs, Hashem is going to show up for us. Will we see it immediately? We'll see it in the way we want? No, but Hashem never ever forgets. It's a pasuk. And Hashem is ultimately Yariv Rivam. Hashem is going to champion and take care of us, and we're going to ultimately be victorious. And this is the same idea of Chanukah, where there was no chance that the Yidden, that the Chashmonaim were going to win. It was the little in against the huge, against the mighty, against the real champions. But Hashem, as we say in Al Nisim, we say, Damtas Dinam Ravtas Rivam. Hashem was ultimately Rivas Rivam. Like we're saying from this pasuk here, Hashem is the one who's fighting the wars. And when we have Hashem, we have everything, and we can't worry. And sometimes we say, how can it be? We're small, we're little, we're weak, we're feeble. But when we have Hashem, then we can tap into Yariv Rivam. Then Hashem is fighting the war. Hashem is the one in front. Hashem is the general of the army. Hashem is the general of whatever interaction, whatever situation, if it's bleak, if it's dark, if there's Hester upon him. But when we have Hashem, then it's Hashem Yariv Rivam. And we don't understand why it's like this, why it's that, and how do you do it, and it's not fair. But again, Hashem is there. And ultimately, in the master plan, it's all worked out, and we're doing the right thing. We can never lose hope, and we should always be confident because Hashem is going to be Yariv Rivam. Finishing up, Umeirani shahabe nasham isish hasu gezev v'niskayim bahem mikra shekasav isa ashav v'mishbach hatzi yama v'zanu v'charize yanavel v'afil ma'ashay b'yad m'neva mahem kikach yamida v'zev v'bezeh v'var ansha yasham l'olam haba. It says the Pele Yoeitz, I've seen this time and time again. People steal, but Hashem is the ultimate cheshbon, and Hashem is going to work it out. The zeh b'zeh, that this one comes and destroys the other. So Hashem has the master plan. And don't ever think that the people are going to get it scot-free, because there's a special, curated, very perfectly, intentionally designed punishment regimen perfectly for this guy. So Hashem's got it all taken care of. You don't worry. You can keep doing the right thing, and Hashem's going to be your Rivam. Hashem is going to champion. Hashem is going to fight our battles when we're doing the right thing and fighting for Him.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.